Well, welcome. I'm going to offer up a suggested playlist. Just if you want, you can start it now if you're settled. You can always just turn it on after, but feel free to have that choice of music if you'd like. And then Baddha Konasana, if you're just joining, soles of the feet together, recline yourself all the way back. And then just start with a scan of the body. Scan the body from the head all the way to the toes. And then the toes all the way up to the head. And then really allow yourself to drop in. Today, if you're joining maybe from outside of Virginia, today is a very hot and humid day. So we'll be doing some heat, but we'll also be really cooling the body down at the end. And really this is the perfect picture of the beginning of summer. On Saturday, we have the summer solstice, and the summer solstice is this sort of first demarcation of summer. And as we said goodbye to spring, the weather welcomed us with this humidity and the temperature change and the rain all weekend. So really just start to notice perhaps what impact the weather has had on your body. Maybe notice just the overall temperature of your body right now in this moment. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? And then start to notice if you can draw that awareness to the temperature of your breath. As you inhale, feel that cooling sensation as you make that breathing in. And then as you exhale, let out any warmth. Maybe let out any excess warmth on your exhalation. And then just become aware of how the temperature impacts your own personal well-being. And the point of the yoga practice is to let things out that heat us up. And so perhaps today, using this practice today to maybe let something out that you've been holding in, or perhaps just letting something out that you no longer need to keep in, so that you come back to that state of balance in the body, so that you can really mediate between hot and cold, warm and cool. And then slide one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and then tune into one intention for your practice. And an intention is almost like a little bit of a seed. It's this word in yoga called sankalpa, and san literally translates to mean seed, and kalpa is the way in which we plant that seed. And so maybe start to notice if it's a seed that needs water to cool down so that it can grow. Maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper and plant that seed so that you get the coolness of the earth, the protection of the earth, but then you also feel that warmth to start to blossom. Use this practice today to tap into what you need. Seal the intention with a breath. Take a deep breath in through the nose, then open, let the breath out, sigh it out. If you laid on a bolster, just let the bolster off to the side, and then take all of your props off into the side, and then start by hugging your knees into the chest for Apanasana. Hands can come around the shin bones. Lay or recline all the way down onto your back. And then if you have a strap, start to take the strap around the right sole of your foot. If you don't, you can just do like I'm doing, grab a hold of the back of your calf, and then lengthen your left leg all the way nice and long. Start with a micro bend into your right knee, and then think that there's a little sneaky turn of the thighs in towards one another. Think that that sneaky turn in of the thighs moving in. Also move your hips out a little bit to their own side, and then start to press your foot up. Begin to straighten your leg, but use your quadriceps. Start to draw your quadricep away from the center of your knee. And then notice from here, if you're really pointing your toe, try to flex the toes so that the toes are moving closer towards the nose. And then get long through all four sides of the torso, the front, the back, the right, the left. Take one more breath, inhale. Take the strap if you're using it into your left hand, and then take it into a twist. Take your right leg over your left thigh, maybe inch away from the wall if you have a wall next to you. And then take your right arm out, just nice and long out towards your side. So you can get your wrist in line with your shoulder, and then really turn your right palm up so you're turning your upper arm bone out of the shoulder, and maybe the gaze comes away from the foot, coming over towards that right hand. And then really start to notice if you can lengthen through all four sides of the torso, the front, the back, the right, the left. Use this exhalation to really find a little bit more space. Maybe wringing out what's really keeping you from feeling that sense of well-being. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, bring it out. And then inhale, lift your right leg all the way back up. Lift your left leg up to meet it, and then loop the strap if you have one, everybody, around your left foot, or you can, again, just grab a hold of the back of the calf. Lengthen and straighten your right leg all the way long. And then again, put a soft bend into your left knee. And then notice the tops of the thighs. See if you can really internally rotate the tops of your thighs. But as you internally rotate the tops of your thighs, think that your hips are moving out a little bit more towards their own sides. And then start to, again, get long through the sides of the torso, the front, the back, the right, the left. So with this, just find the space. And then start to straighten out through the left leg. Press up through the center of the foot. But think that the top of your quadricep, the top of your left quadricep lengthens down. So I'll say that one more time. Press up through the sole of your foot, but use that pressing up to also move the quadricep down, so you're really straightening the leg from opening the back center of the knee. Take the strap into your right hand, turn it into a twist. Take your left foot over to the right, and then open your left arm out nice and wide into that T shape. Try to get your shoulder in line with your wrist as best as you can. And then really turn your left palm up. So you're opening your arm out at the shoulder. And then the gaze can come over towards your left hand, only if it feels supported for the neck today. Notice, again, that balance today, those two polarities. Really, the polarities are two things on opposite sides of one another. And when we find this playing of two things on opposite side or another, if it's hot or if it's cold, or if it's an up or a down, or if it's a right or a left, we're always learning how to mediate and how to articulate where the middle is. So notice even from here, you're turning around your middle, almost like you would turning around a spit. And then inhale, lift your left leg all the way back up. Exhale, bend both knees. Take the strap off to the side. And then Uttanasana, hands around the knees or the shins. If you want a little bit of movement from here, start to rock. Front and back, forward and up. And then make your way up and over into your child's pose. Come on your shin bones. Stretch the arms out in front of you. Really get long. Reach the hands forward, but think the feet move back. And then rest your forehead down. Start to find the breath again. Inhale from the belly, the rib cage, the chest. Exhale from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. And then look forward. Inhale, slide onto your hands and your knees and come into your first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Then right away, inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Take a down dog split. Straighten your leg today and point your right toe up. Your left leg is on the ground, or it should be. Lift your left heel up, bend your left knee. And then find that small internal rotation of both thighs. Use that internal rotation of both thighs to move the hips out to their own side. And then drop and lower your left heel down to keep the right leg up. Inhale, draw the knee into the navel, around the spine. Look out in front of you. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Drop your back knee down, untuck your back toes. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up for a low lunge. Good. Take your right hand to the back of your head like you're fixing your hair. And then reach your left hand out towards the side. Rotate your thumb down. And then find a Gomukhasana arm. Reach your left hand behind your back. Behind your back. Yeah, that's it. And then see if you can start to walk your hand up your back a little bit more. If you connect, great. If not, that's okay too. Lean your head back, and then everybody lift your right heel up. So lift your right heel up, and then think that that lifts your pubis forward and up, and it drops your tailbone back and down. So the back bend is really coming from the pelvis. So pretty, Barbara. Good. Keep the lift, but lower your right heel down. That's it. Then send your hands down, drop your left hand down, reach your right arm up into a twist. Start by looking out in front of you, but don't turn the pose yet. Get your upper body really aligned first. Move your left shoulder a little bit more into the midline, and then think that that moves your right shoulder back. Then start to turn the pose. Turn the pose from your torso. Lengthen through the crown of the head, and then start to turn your left rib cage a little bit more to the right. Then get the vision up by looking up at your right thumb. Stay for one more breath. Reach your right hand towards the front of the mat. Tuck your chin into your armpit, make a good fit. Drop your hands down, and then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. Keep your gaze out in front of you. Step back to a plank pose. Reach the heels back, but reach the head forward. Drop your knees down, hips to heels for a child's pose. Come all the way down. Look forward at your hands. Slide onto your belly. Set up for your first baby back bend. Hands under the shoulders, arms bent to 90. Pull your elbows in, and then really push your pubis into the mat, but think your buttock bones move back towards your heels, and your legs are straight and your toes are pointed. Inhale to Bhujangasana. Lift your chest forward and up. Exhale, set your chest back down. Press back either to child's pose or straight back into downward facing dog. Your choice. Hips up and back. Pause in your down dog when you arrive. Take a full breath in. Open the mouth. Exhale. Let it out. Lift your left leg straight up to the sky. Today, straighten your leg and point your toe. Lift your right heel and bend your right knee. And then think the tops of your thighs turn in to move your hips out a little bit more towards their own sides. Lower your right heel, but keep the length and lift into your left leg. So think that that right heel drops down as it lifts your left leg up. Inhale, draw the left knee into the navel. Look out in front of you. Set your left foot forward. Drop your back knee down. Untuck your back toes. Inhale to low lunge. Reach the arms all the way up. Good. Take your left hand to the back of your head. Reach your right hand out wide. And then turn your thumb down. That's going to help internally rotate your arm. And then really take your arm around your back, like you're fixing the back of your shirt. Maybe you start to connect the hands. But just be aware. Notice if one side is easier or if one side is really hard, right? So I have a lot of space on this side. You may as well. If you're right dominant, you might be a little bit more accessible on the other side. So know that that's normal. And then lift your left heel up. When you lift your left heel up, think that your pubis moves forward and up to draw your tailbone back and down. So really back bending from your pelvis. Keep the lift, lower your left heel down. And then unwind the arms. Right hand down for your twist. Reach the left hand up. Look out towards the front of your mat first before you begin to turn the pose. Take your right shoulder more to the midline. Use that right shoulder moving to the midline to draw your left shoulder back. Then look out in front of you. Think that your right rib cage moves to the left, and then allow the torso to move the pose. Then get the vision up by looking up to your left thumb. Can you use your right eye to look up to your left thumb, really getting all the way around yourself. And then keep moving around and around. Take one more breath. Take that left hand, reach it up and over towards the front of the mat. Tuck your chin into your arm. Exhale, drop both hands down. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. Think that that lifts, presses your heel back, but it moves your sternum forward. Step back to your plank pose. And then your choice is round half or full chaturanga. We'll meet back either in child's or downward facing dog when you're ready. And then pause when you've arrived in your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, bend your knees. Look at your hands. Look where you're going. Step, hop, or jump to the top of the mat. Make 2 fists. Slide the fists to the inner arches of the feet to measure your inner hip distance. Then relax your hands down and fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Come all the way up. Reach your arms up and over your head. Exhale, hands go to the heart. Relax your hands next to your hips. So we're going to move through this first part. We're going to move through traditional Surya Namaskar. And then we're going to take a little bit more heat, and then we'll bring it down. Okay, so know that we're going to move so that we can restore. Reach your arms all the way up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Press your feet down, reach your arms up. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins. Halfway lift. Press your feet down, but reach your head forward. Exhale, bend your knees as you fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, plant your hands. Step back first with your right foot, then the left to a plank. Lower for the first one, all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes, straighten your legs, point your toes, hands down. Inhale, Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Exhale, press back to a down dog, or again, notice and really just be aware of those first few moments that we practiced. How does the heat impact you, right? So if you need that child's pose, take it at any time. Stay for 2 more breaths in your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. 1 more breath in. Open the mouth, exhale, make some noise, side out. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look out where you're going. Step, hop, or jump. Hands to shins, breathe in. Feet down, reach your head forward. Exhale, bend your knees as you fold. Inhale to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. That's it. Exhale, hands at the heart. Relax your hands next to your hips, Tadasana. Second side, inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your left foot back for a lunge. Step your right foot back, plank. This time, half or full chaturanga. So again, always an option to go maybe that first step if you're just starting out, or you can go up a little bit more if you need more heat. Pause, 3 breaths, downward facing dog. Breath in, press your hands down, lift out of your shoulders and out of your ears. Think that there's a small spiral into rotation of your thighs that's going to give you the strength to press your hips back. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look out towards the front. Exhale, step or hop to the top. Hands to shins, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out and fold. Inhale, rise to stand, come all the way up. Reach your arms up, take the gaze up. Exhale, hands at the heart. Relax your hands next to your hips. 1 round of traditional Surya A on your own. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale and fold. So opportunity to step or hop back. Inhale, hand foot halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop back, maybe straight coming in to your chaturanga. Up dog if you know it. The knees lift, the chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips lift. 3 breaths, down dog, pause. Really spread your hands evenly and well. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and think the knees moving forward. Lift your tailbone up, but it also takes your eyes towards your hands. Stay for 1 more breath in. Exhale, breath out. Inhale, lift your heels to prepare. Step, hop, or jump to the top. Hands to shins, breathe in. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise to stand, come all the way up. So strong, good. Exhale, hands at the heart. Relax your hands next to your hips. Come straight into chair pose. Shift the weight into your heels. I like to lift all 10 toes up. Send your thighs down, but lift your chest up. That's it. Track your knees over the center of your feet. Fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, breathe in. If you have a crow in your practice, feel free to take it. Hands down, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze out towards the front, and then maybe you come into a little mini Bakasana, crow pose if you want. Feet together, then you can step, hop, or jump back, chaturanga. And if you're smiling and saying, not today, that's okay. Come back, downward facing dog when you arrive. Make it your own practice, your own time. We'll meet back in down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Again, straighten your leg today and point your right toes. Lift your left heel, bend your left knee. Find that sneaky internal rotation of both thighs, meaning the thighs spiral in towards one another. And then think that moves the hips out to the side. Then drop your left heel, but make that lift. The left heel drops to lift the right leg higher. Draw your right knee into the navel. Look out towards the front of the mat. Really draw your right knee forward, but anchor your left heel back. Then internally rotate your thighs again. Move them in, and then see if that lifts your right knee into your chest a little bit more. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Lift your right heel. Wiggle your right foot to the midline. Then place your chest onto your thigh. Bend your left knee. Think that your right knee moves forward to draw your sternum and your chest forward, but you're really anchoring your left heel back. Now, turn your left foot down, parallel. Reach your left hand out towards the front of the mat. Swim up and open to your warrior two. Yeah, good. Right away, straighten your leg. Whew. Lift your right arm straight up. Take your right hand to the back of your head. And then take your left arm, thumb down. Take your arm, rotate it in to bring it around for a Gomukhasana arm. So you each, if you have your strap, you can take the strap. But I want you to first turn your torso to face back towards the front, and then see if you can use that space to wiggle your hands a little bit closer towards one another. And then start to turn your torso, once you have your hands, back over towards your left foot. And then really pick up your left foot, turn your left foot so it's more like a 45-degree angle, but keep lifting your pubis up and drawing your tailbone back and down. You have to be turned over to the left to do that. Then keep the lift of the torso, bend to your right knee to find a variation of warrior two today. Do that 2 times, just with the front leg. Inhale, push into the ball of the foot to straighten the leg. Exhale, bend into the front knee, really push into the heel. 2 more. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. Exhale, bend, come all the way back into the heel. Last one. Inhale, straighten and lengthen. This time, unwind the arms. Take your right hand to your right shin or calf, and then start to come over into your warrior two. Really unwind the arms and open. And then really start to move. Again, look out towards the front of your mat. This is a little bit of a turn. So first start with the arms. Move your right shoulder more to the midline. So your shoulder is really over the center of your right foot, and your right knee is tracking over the center of the foot. And then reach your left arm up and over your ear. Then start to turn the pose from the torso. Spin from the right rib cage up, up, up towards the left. Look up, but use your right eye to look up at your left hand. Stay for 1 more breath. Look down, plant your left hand down. Come straight into a twist. Turn onto the back wall of the foot. Reach your right arm straight up. That's it. And then again, look out in front of you. See where you're moving. Move your left shoulder to the middle. Move your right shoulder back. Turn your left rib cage to the right, and then look up towards your hand. Really putting your stability in your legs, that ability and turn in your torso, and then get your vision up to see where you're moving and where you're going. Stay for 1 more breath. Take your right arm up and over your ear. Tuck your chin into your armpit. It should be hard. Exhale, drop the hands down. Look out in front of you to step back to your plank. Lower, half or full chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Take a big breath in. You have arrived. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Point your toes, straighten your leg. Lift your right heel, bend into your right knee. And then really sneaky turn in the tops of your thighs to move your hips out. Then drop your right heel, but use the drop of the right heel to lift your left leg up higher. Inhale, left knee into the navel. Think that there's, again, that turn in of the thighs, and then see if you can use that to lift your left knee higher, but anchor your right heel back to really draw your left knee forward a little bit more. Set your left foot forward, and then take your left heel, lift your left heel up, wiggle your left foot really so it's in the center of the mat, center of your torso. I want you to completely drop your chest onto your thigh, and then bend your left knee to move your torso a little bit more towards the front. Take your right foot, turn it parallel, reach your right hand forward towards the front. Then swim it up and open, warrior two. Right away, straighten through your front leg. That's it. Take your left arm straight up, bend your elbow, take it behind your head, rotate your right thumb down, bend your elbow, then take your hand around your back. So again, this side you might find a lot of space, right? Just to be aware of what's easier, what's harder. Turn over towards your right leg, and then see if that gives you a little bit more space to walk your hands together. That's it. Lift your pubis up, draw your tailbone down, keep the lift of the torso, bend into your left knee. Try to take your left thigh parallel like a warrior two. Then we'll do that 3 times, moving dynamically. Inhale, straighten through your front leg. Exhale, as you bend back into that front knee, really shift the weight into the heel. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift your quadricep up to your hip. Exhale, press into the heel to come back to that knee bend. One more. Inhale, lengthen and straighten. Exhale as you bend. Good. Re-straighten through the front leg. Really try to push into your big toe mound, and then see if you can firm your outer left hip in, but don't lose that right leg. Think that there's a turn in of the top of your left thigh, but you're also pressing back with your right heel. Unwind the arms, left hand to the shin, or you can grab a hold of the ground. Move it into your triangle pose. And again, look out in front of you. So see that sneaky little turn. It's a forward bend at the hip. It's a turn of the torso. So really use the torso to start to move the pose. Move your left shoulder to the midline and try to get that shoulder on top of the center of the foot, knee on top of the center of the thigh, and then really start to turn the pose. Get the vision up. Can you look up again, but use your left eye to look up towards your right thumb. Stay for one more breath. Breathe in, exhale, breathe out. Look down at your left foot, look where you're going. Come into the twist. Right hand down, turn onto the back ball of that right foot. So as you're doing this, you're really anchoring your right heel back to move your left knee forward. Really feeling that polarity of moving in 2 opposite directions, but the right hand down and the left hand up really give you that center line in the middle. Look out towards the front of the mat, turn your right shoulder to the middle, move your left shoulder back, and then start to turn the pose from the torso. Spin your right rib cage over to the left, and then look up at your left thumb with your right eye. Keep turning the pose, moving around and around. Take one more breath in. Take that left arm up and over towards the front of the mat. Tuck your chin in to make a good fit. Then set your hands down. Look out towards the front of the mat. Yes, you can. Step your feet back, heels back, head forward. Lower down for a flow. Inhale to your back bend. So nice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, everybody. Lift your heels and then bend your knees. Lift just your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Warrior one foot pattern. Round your left foot down 45 degrees. Reach your arms forward and up for warrior one. That's it. Exhale, hands down. Frame your front foot. Step back, everybody, either to a plank, or you can add on one-legged plank, the right leg can lift. One-legged chaturanga, or you can hold a plank. Lower to chaturanga. Inhale, both feet touch, up dog. Exhale, press back, down dog. So traditional Surya B. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Round the right foot down 45. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up, warrior one. So pretty good. Exhale, hands down. Frame the front foot. Hover the left foot back, one-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga, lower down or hold your plank, hold your ground. Inhale the up dog, exhale the down dog. 3 breaths in your down dog. You can meet in a child's pose. Feel free to stay. I'm going to take it as a break. But use this opportunity to really, again, begin to tap in, see where you are. Savor one more breath in. Exhale, breath out. And then inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Reach all the way up. Good. Take your right hand to the back of your head. Reach your left hand out towards the side. And then again, Gomukhasana, reach your arms around. Bend your right knee. And then pick up your left heel. And then start to turn your thighs in towards one another. We're going to shoot into warrior three pose, but keep the Gomukhasana arms today if you want. Start to lift your left leg up and back behind you. Straighten your left leg and point your toe today. But I want you to bend your right knee, just like we've been doing in the practice. And then think that the tops of the thighs move in a little bit towards one another. See if that centers your pubis a little bit more forward, but it moves your tailbone back to give you the lift out of the pelvis, because it's a little bit of a back bend. Stay for one more breath. Bend your right knee, come all the way back to your warrior one. Unwind the arms, reach them all the way back up. That's it. Exhale, set your hands down. Reframe, come back again if you want more heat. One-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga. Both feet touch and up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Rise all the way up. That's it. Left hand to the back of the head. Reach your right arm wide. Turn your thumb down. So that's going to give you the turn in of the shoulder. And that turn in is going to help you bind the hands. And then lift up, rise up. Hinge forward. As you hinge forward, see if you can lift your right heel up so you're really on the ball of the foot. And then start to spring in to the left leg for your warrior three variation. Again today, straighten your right leg but point your toes. Bend your left knee and then think that that moves your thighs in to move your hips out. So you're really creating that space across the front of the sacrum, or the back of the sacrum rather, and the front of the pelvis. And as you do that, then see if that allows you to back bend the pose a little bit more so that you can get that lift of the chest forward and up to come into the warrior three. Stay for one more breath. You're doing great. Bend your left knee. Come all the way back. Land with grace. Land with ease. Find the effort. Reach the arms up to unwind warrior one. So pretty good. Exhale, hands down. Step back again. Plank or one-legged plank. If you're taking a one-legged plank, it really helps to look out towards the front. Then lower down half or full or no chaturanga. When you back bend, both feet touch. When you come back, both feet land, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, draw your right knee in. Good. Again, find that internal rotation of the thighs. Think that that moves the hips a little bit more towards your own side. And then really draw your right knee in and forward, but anchor your left heel back. Then drop your right shin down. Whew, with a smile. Come into pigeon pose. If you have props, take a prop underneath your right hip, or you can take a bolster if you have the bolster as we begin, underneath your torso. If you take the bolster underneath the torso, just make sure that your head is supported. So we really want to try to get the head and shoulders in one line. We don't want the head below the shoulders because that cuts off a little bit of the circulation and in the lungs, okay? So I like to stay upright on my forearms, to keep that flow of the air, to keep that flow in the diaphragm and the lungs, but really make it personal so that you can fold when you want to fold, and you can unfold when you need to unfold. And we'll be here for about 2 full minutes, so adjust yourself accordingly. If you need to come on your back, feel free to come on your back. But I want you to really try as best as you can. We moved quickly through the sun salutations today to really move the energy out so that we can move more energy in. And we want to move that energy in to find more grounding tonight in these last part of the practice that will be really more restorative. So as you move into the pose, really notice again the quality of the temperature of the body. Notice what the skin feels like. If it's warm, if it's cool. See where you can begin to use the breath to begin to cool down so that you know how to warm up. You know how to make a good fire. You know how to put in the effort. But you know that you can't let it burn out. And then you know how to cool down. You know how to catch the rain, to use it well, so that you can feed your seed. You know how to cool off. But you know how to mediate between that fire and that water so that you can make steam. You can find the effort, but then you find the grace. And so start to take your tongue to the roof of the mouth. It's the space where you make the word love or lullaby. And then keeping the tongue at the roof of the mouth, just little slightly part the lips. You can even kind of lick the lips first to cool the lips down. And then just little part of the lips. And then over exaggerate the length of the breath, meaning as you inhale, allow the breath to come in a little bit more slowly to take control. And as you exhale, allow the breath to go out a little bit more slowly than you usually do. So maybe this is to account for. As you inhale, really feel that cooling sensation around that O of the mouth and the tongue to the roof of the mouth so that you really feel and encapsulate that coolness. And as you breathe out, just allow it to be soft. Do that 2 more times, really letting out any steam so that you are you're a good temperature. It's like you're taking your temperature and your internal thermometer. And then after that last one, slide your props, if you use them, off and to the side. Make your way back. Downward facing dog. So sometimes in this practice, we need more heat. If you want to flow, take a flow. Sometimes we need less. So maybe it's a cat and a cow, or maybe it's just hip circles around in both directions. So tune into what you need, a little bit more, a little bit less, to move out any stagnation. And then when you're ready, we'll meet in a down dog. Switching sides. Inhale, lift your left leg up, straighten your leg, point your toe. Bend your left knee into your chest. Look out towards the front of the mat. Find that internal rotation of the thighs. Think that moves the thighs in a little bit more. But anchor your right heel back to move your left knee forward. Then lower your left knee down. Untuck your back toes. Start to set up on the second side for your pigeon. Bolster, if you have it, or a pillow underneath the torso. And then again, 2 minutes on this side. So really commit to stillness as you begin to soften and lower. So when we have time and we measure it, and my practice is, I usually try to tell you how long we'll do something, because then you know the expectation, right? Your mind can be a little bit more at ease because it has a beginning, it has a middle, and it has an end, so that you really measure your time well. And you're using the time to your advantage. So with this, we know that fire rises. We know that water descends. So the metaphor is steam. So we know how to heat up, but we know how to cool down. So we can really navigate between those two polarities, those two things that are opposite, to find the third, that's you. And this time we'll do the breath of seasons. And the breath of seasons is to a count of 4. And so first notice that the breath is 4 counts. 1, the inhalation. 2, the pregnant pause. 3, the exhalation. And 4, the empty breath out. And so we'll add the breath of seasons. And if this is new for you, we do all of this with our imagination. And so the only thing you have to do is imagine. And this is a good breath to do as we transition from one season to another, because it gives us a good reference. It helps us remember what season we're in. So 1, inhale, imagine spring rising in front of you. Pause, hold the breath as summer ripens. Exhale down the back for fall, descending the harvest. Hold the breath out for the emptiness of winter. We'll do that again. Inhale for spring, up the front. Hold the breath as summer ripens. Exhale down the back for harvest. Hold the emptiness for the insight of winter. And then when you're ready, slowly, mindfully, walk your hands back, lift your chest up. Slide your legs around to one side and then just swing your legs out in front of you. Have your blocks just nice and handy, and you can have your bolster nice and handy too as we transition. We're going to have our legs nice and straight for a Paschimottanasana. So if you know that you need a little bit of an elevation into your hips, you can sit on something. Most of us do need to sit on something, so just be aware of that. I'm going to demo and use a blanket. But if you sit on something, really try to sit onto the edge. Take your hands next to your hips, tense your fingertips so you can really bring the ground up to you. And then start by just straightening your legs. And then find again that sneaky internal rotation of the thighs. Push your heels down and bend your knees, but don't move your legs. So bend your knees, but don't move your heels. Yep, and then think that that pushes your pubis down, or your pubis forward and up, and it really puts you more into your perineum. So you're really rooting and anchoring down. And then inhale, lift your chest forward and up. So there's a little bit of a forward bend at the hip. And then bring your torso towards your thighs. Think that your thighs move up into your chest. Then walk your hands forward. Your hands can reach out towards the side. They can reach towards your shins, your ankles, or you can give yourself a boundary of a block in front of your feet if you have that flexibility. But keep the gaze out towards your feet. Keep the gaze out towards your feet. And then think that it's not your neck bringing your vision out, but it's your pubis drawing you really into the center line to move your chest forward and up, and then really anchoring your tailbone back and down. And then think that the thighs move in, so that you're really coming more into the middle of yourself, but your hips move out to their own side. And then breathe in through the front, through the back, through the left, through the right. Feel the up and the down. Exhale, really come back to yourself at your center. Tuck your chin in. Come all the way back up to a seat. Roll all the way back up. We're going to twist. We're just going to do that in a twist now, but then we're going to come down for a restorative pose. So take your hands again out to their own sides. Bend your knees, but don't move your heels. Take your right hand in the center of your thighs. And then before we turn the pose, move your right shoulder really so it's in the middle of your knees and in between that space in between your feet. And then take your left hand behind you. Think that there's a clock face in front of you. 12 o'clock is in front of you. To your right is 3, behind you is 6, and to your left is 9. Move your right shoulder in the center of your knee so it faces 12 o'clock. Then move your left shoulder towards 12, or towards 6 rather. Then start to turn the torso, take your gaze back over your left shoulder. And then keep moving around. Think that your gaze turns back, but use your right eye so you can really start to see all 360 degrees around yourself. Notice if you can really plug your left heel down and in, spin your left thigh in, but move your right hip a little bit more back into its own hip socket. Stay for one more breath. Reach your left hand straight up. Turn your torso back to face the front, back to 12 o'clock. Take your left hand in the center of your thighs and your knees. And then just take your right hand back and behind you. So again, really feel where you are in time and space before you turn the pose. Move your left shoulder more towards 12 o'clock, but keep the gaze out towards the front of the mat before you spin the pose. That's it. And then really use the torso. So forward bend the pose a little bit more. Think that your knees move you forward, but your butt bones move you back. And then think that that small movement of the hips folding really gives you the rise to rise above yourself so that you can start to twist and turn around yourself. Keep moving your left shoulder to 12. Keep moving your right shoulder back to 6. And then see maybe on this side if you can move a little bit more, if you can move a little bit less. Just notice and be aware of that. Top of the right thigh spins in, and then see if that moves your left hip back a little bit more into its own hip socket. So if you get stuck, forward bend the pose more. Move your butt bones back, lengthen and lift your pubis forward and up. Then start to turn the pose, moving around and around and around, looking over your right shoulder with your left eye. Stay for one more breath. Reach your right arm straight up. Exhale, both hands in between. Good. And then straighten your legs. Come off your props if you used any props to sit on. We're going to come down into a little bit more variation of that we did when we started with. So we're going to end as we began pretty much before we take Shavasana. If you have 2 blocks and you have a bolster, I want you to elevate. You're going to take your 2 blocks on your mat, make an L shape, 1 block. I know, Barbara, you've done this before, so if you have it, 1 block on the high side, 1 block on the low side. And then a pillow works great if you have a pillow. Most of us should have a pillow at home, I hope, right? So if you have a pillow, great. If you have a bolster, even better. And take your bolster or your pillow on top of the blocks. If you don't have blocks and you're using books, don't use books for this. It'll feel jarring. You can just put your bolster like we did before, flat. And then I'm going to really leave it up to your own discretion. If you want to come into more of an elevated Baddha Konasana shape, take your feet together. Your knees can come back wide. If you feel like you want to straighten your legs, straighten your legs. Baddha Konasana will give you more of a hip opener, but you can also straighten your legs just to come into more of an ease. And then turn your palms up so that you're really getting more space across your collarbones. You're turning your armpits open a little bit more, and that physically gives you more space in your lungs. And right now, we really need a strong breath literacy so that we know when we're holding our breath, we know how to breathe through good and tough times so that we can breathe well. And it's not just good or bad or good. It's good and bad, bad and good, so that we can breathe fully through each experience and find that experience in the polarities. And so we'll come back to the breath practice throughout these next few points, next few minutes. And so 1, notice the breath. Notice the inhale rising, and the exhale falling. Notice that ascent of the breath in and up. Notice the descent of the breath back and down. And so 1, notice the breath rising behind your back. Inhale, fire rising. Exhale, rain falling in front of you, coming down, cooling you. But feel that polarity between warmth and cool so that you can make steam. And then find the breath of season so that you know what season you're in. You know the turn of time. Inhale, in front of you, rising spring. Hold the breath at the top for summer. Exhale down the back for fall, descending, the harvest. Hold the empty breath out for winter. And then all of this with your imagination. So we do the seasons so we can really understand where we are. It's also our adrenal system so that we really start to tune into how we move and how we go. So we can step out into the world, but then we have to know where our time is and how we spend our time. We each have 24 hours in the day. How do we spend our day? And so imagine the breath starting at the front of your left shoulder. Then imagine the breath just traveling across the front collarbones from the left shoulder to the right shoulder. And then imagine the breath traveling from your right shoulder around your back in time, back to the back of your left shoulder. So this is the turn of time across the collarbones. Inhale from the left shoulder to the right, from dawn to dusk. Exhale from dusk till dawn, coming around the back. We'll do that again. Inhale from the left to the right, front of the collarbones. Exhale round the back, from the back right shoulder to the left shoulder. And then put your awareness into your left foot. Notice how you spend your time. How do you seize the day? Maybe noticing how you spent your day today. Or maybe noticing how your day might change or turn with the turning of seasons. I have a tendency to start my day earlier, start my walks earlier. This morning, my kids and I played tennis early because it was too warm later on. So noticing and using time, and noticing the seasons so that you know how to play time well. You don't play tennis at 1 o'clock, right? And if you do, you'll get really hot, so you know that and you'll be aware. And so seize the day from your left foot. Imagine the breath traveling up your body to the back of your right eye, and then exhale from the back of your right eye down to your left foot. And then put yourself in the middle of all your circumstances. Feel the center of your chest. Inhale in front and back, left, right, up and down. Exhale, feel like you're coming back to yourself at your center. You're welcome to stay in this pose for final Shavasana and rest. If you want to come all the way down to find a more traditional Shavasana, feel free to take that now. Laying and reclining all the way down and flat. Legs up the wall is also a really nice variation for your Shavasana. And then feel free to commit to stillness as you come down for final rest. And just be aware of where the mind is wandering, where it's moving, where it's going. Again, notice even the temperature of the mind, when it gets hot, when it cools down. And so really connecting the body, the mind, and the breath tonight. So we have all three parts playing together, mediating well. When you're ready, start to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Take a deep breath, inhale, and then feel that cooling sensation as you breathe in, a warming sensation as you exhale. Make your way over to one side and then come up to a comfortable seated pose. You're home, so feel free to stay if you want to stay. Linger if you want to stay and linger. When you're ready to come back to your day, come to a seat with your hands at your heart. Tuck your chin into your chest. And we'll close with a breath. Take a deep breath, inhale. Exhale, let the breath out. Blink the eyes open. Thank you for joining, Barbara. Thank you for joining, Carolyn. I think we lost the rest in Shavasana, but that's okay. Thanks for staying. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I don't know if either of you are members right now, but I'm doing a workshop on Saturday, and it's included in membership, and it's a restorative practice. If you're not a